I think I was putting like.
What was told to you?
Do whatever you want.
Told you to coaches, please let us know what days you would like to. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah.
So there's no looking out for respecting each other's programs or anything like that.
Well, we didn't see any, like, you're bringing this.
So you don't, like, if a girl's got basketball, she also wants to run cross country, you don't.
If there was a practice for cross country,
But
so same kind of skills basketball, I think this is.
But it should be on the schedule that makes sense. That makes sense. That's what you relate to.
So we can.
That makes sense if you told them.
Yeah.
I just think.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Saved you a seat.
We did. All right, roll call. Everybody is present or excused. Additions, exception of agenda. Everybody satisfied with the agenda we cranked out on Wednesday? Anybody got anything needs added, modified? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Dave and Benito? Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next up, we've got the LOR introduction. Jen Burden's gonna tell us about that.
So Jen, you are up.
All right, Mark. Just right here?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for having me today. I really appreciate your time. For some of you, it will be a repeat.
That's
but-
okay. I'm excited to hear it.
Awesome. All right. Well, my name is Jen Burden. I am the community officer in Buffalo for the LOR Foundation. Is this switching? And the LOR Foundation, that is how you say it. It's an acronym for Livability, Opportunity, and Responsibility. So we'll start with that.
Might have to zap that way to,
And then down is it's the opposite.
That's the opposite, yeah.
There it goes. I'll introduce myself to those who don't know me. I am a Buffalo High School graduate. I grew up here. My mom grew up here. My grandma grew up here. And my great-grandfather immigrated here. So we've had a lot of people in the community, deeply rooted. A lot of the community chose to come back here and raise my children here. I spent a lot of years in journalism and marketing, a lot of years at the Buffalo Bulletin. So I got to know the community on a whole different level, which was really exciting. And I am very passionate about connecting with community members, which is a lot of what I'm going to be doing for the LOR Foundation. So let's talk a little bit about the LOR Foundation. So LOR is new to Buffalo, but we're not new to Wyoming. We've been operating in Lander for quite a while now. The LOR Foundation is a private foundation. We don't take money in, so it's a little bit different. We're not a fundraising foundation. We only give money out. And so we operate in 8 communities in the Mountain West right now. We're in Lander and in the process of phasing out of Lander and into Buffalo. So we also have community officers in Libby, Montana, Weiser, Idaho. We have 2 places. We have Cortez and Monte Vista, Colorado, and then Taos and Cuesta, New Mexico. So small communities, because the foundation believes that it is important to bring philanthropic dollars to small communities. That doesn't happen very often. A lot of times they go to cities. But LOR Foundation believes in the culture and the uniqueness of each community. So that's why we're rooted in those rural places. We listen locally, we act quickly, and we share widely. So what I'm doing right now is listening to community members, introducing myself and LOR Foundation to community, and listening to what you guys have to say. Keep hitting it on my own computer and not on this one. So the LOR's mission, we want to enhance livability and prosperity while preserving the character that makes each community unique. So this is about Buffalo. These projects that community members bring to me are unique to Buffalo. It's not about what worked in LOR or what worked in Taos, it's about what was gonna work in Buffalo. And these projects are led by community champions. I'm pointing at everybody because everybody can be a community champion. If you see a problem and a solution in the community, I want to hear from you because we can potentially help fund that. Got it right that time. So we are place-based. So we work on a problem solution method. So to understand what's really needed, like I mentioned, I sit and listen with the community. You guys are the ones that know what's going on in the community and what might work to make it better. So we don't fund operations, but we do fund projects, equipment, new ideas, new events, things that that solve a community issue. We can't fund private businesses, but I can fund individuals who have an idea. So the nonprofits, the school district included, the city and county. A lot of the grants that we've done in other communities are through the school district, so you guys can be a big part of this. We activate solutions. So what we work in, we call mini and mighty grants. We specialize in grants that are under $10,000. We can go up to 30, but those involve a little bit more on the back end. So those mini and mighty grants under $10,000 move quickly through our process. I mean, from the time you apply to the time you get your funds can be a matter of weeks. And that application process is really easy. It's not like you think of a grant ask that you have to be a grant writer to do that. There's 4 or 5 questions that involve understanding the problem, solution, what success would look like to you, the budget, and then I help you with that and we move it through the system. So it's really easy and accessible to community members. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out process. We also share and connect. So a big piece of what we do is connecting community members to other community members. So I'm listening to maybe something that the school district has going on that maybe that works with the food pantry. There's always ways to cross over and that we can help community members work together too. And then, I'm gonna get this eventually. We also have a business development team that is in Denver that we work with in each community that has contacts on a regional and national level. So they can help bring dollars in outside of LOR. So they have contacts all over the country, they work with representatives, they work with senators, and then they are really rooted in what's happening on grants on a national and regional level. So they actually just sent me some grants that we sent on to the fire department and the rural health department that potentially they could apply for, and we help them through that process. Which is a big piece of what we do, and I think we should really take advantage of that in Johnson. Then we work in 8 different elements. You'll see them up here: economy, education, engagement, environment, health, housing, transportation, and water. Which is basically to say I can pretty much fund anything. We can find a home for it. We do struggle sometimes to get transportation, water, and housing. And so those are ones that I really want to drill down into and explore with the community as well, so we can get more of that. Water, maybe drinking water isn't necessarily an issue in Buffalo, but maybe we're missing some water fountains on the trail. Things like that. Thinking outside the box about how we can get some more water projects. That is kind of a little bit about LOR. I do have my contact information up there, and I have business cards and postcards that I'd love to hand out to community members. If you're interested, please do take it. It has my contact information on there. Spread the word. If you want to meet with me, I'd love to chat. If you have ideas, we're talking to the baseball board here coming up. We've talked to the YMCA. I just presented to Kiwanis. So word of mouth is going to be huge for us. And so I'd love every opportunity to get the word out. Have any questions for me?
What types of things, give me some, what have you funded in the past in other organizations? Because I see housing, well, we know there's a housing issue in Buffalo, but you guys don't give grants big enough to help out with that. So Just, can you give me some ideas what
Yeah,
you've done?
so I met with the senior center, and the project that we're not quite through the system right now, we're just talking about it, is they get a lot of phone calls from elderly individuals who need even something as simple as a light bulb changed, or a ramp built, or something like that, that they're thinking about creating a program for that at the senior center that we could potentially provide some initial funding. I will give you some examples from other communities, but just want you to keep in mind that it is what works here.
Yeah, it
We
worked
don't
there,
want to
but-
force on Buffalo, it's Buffalo's choice here, but we've done some, this is a hot topic in Buffalo right now, some safety clinics for scooter riders. Or e-bikes, you know, might be some, you know, I know we've had some discussions about that here too. We've done digitizing county records in other communities, which I think they've done in Buffalo. We've done some lighting at a museum in Lander. It was really dark, maybe we just needed some simple lighting. We've used lighting on crosswalks that maybe needed some better lighting going on there. We've hired a professional instructor to deliver 10 free business workshops in Cuesta, talking about, you know, business planning, budgeting, marketing for community businesses who may not have that background. We've done sound equipment for different organizations. We've done storage equipment for different organizations. One of my favorite ones that I read recently was at a food pantry in a community we work in. The Girl Scouts put together birthday bags for community members. So in a food pantry, sometimes they don't have an opportunity to get cake mix and candles and birthday hats. So they put those packages together for them, and we're funded that. We've also done a housing series that supports community knowledge on housing related topics, like how do I apply for a loan? What are my financing options? Things like that, some education. We can bring in people to do studies. So maybe we can't fund necessarily the extent of a bike lane, but we can fund a study, somebody to come in and provide a study to figure out where those bike lanes should go. I will add too, we are in Buffalo, so my area is Buffalo, so we specialize in the town of Buffalo.
So you mentioned that you're transitioning out of Lander and into Buffalo. So what is the time frame? How long are you in each community, and what do you leave when you leave the community?
It's a good question. So we are in a community for 5 years, and then we transition out of it. And so I would say let's get the most out of it while Lori's here and really use those dollars, because they're there to make a difference. And when we leave, you know, there's a transition period where we continue to fund for a little bit, and then Laura likes to see what impact have they had. Did it make a difference long term? And that's what Lander's actually the first community we're moving out of as an organization. So it's kind of a, you know, see what happens when they move out of that. And will this encourage community members to step up? We hope so, because that's the whole idea, is that we've done a study with Gallup that there are, in small towns, a lot of people want to help, they want to volunteer, they're just not quite sure how to make that happen. So we're hoping to give them a leg up to help do that.
And then potentially like pass the torch to another similar organization after you?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great, but we'll see what happens, and maybe community members find ways to continue these projects, and maybe as a community we say that's a priority and we fund it.
Is there a certain amount for each community that is capped?
So I work on a quarterly budget, and that will increase as I move along. I will add that there is not a limit to the number of grants that an organization can request, so the school district can request multiple grants. There is a limit. We only fund a certain ask one time. We want to make sure that we get everything in there to make that project or program successful.
This is the second time I've heard this, and I'm so excited to have you guys in our community. I would just challenge and encourage leadership to go check out what they have, because I've been reading about some of the education projects that they've done in Lander. Just a couple off the top that I was like, oh, I could totally see, like our high schools or New West doing something with some of this funding. 3D scanners enable Tech Club to serve Lander community through custom printing. So they actually help get these 3D scanners, and then there was different parts that they couldn't like get manufactured quickly, and so then the high school would manufacture those parts for maintenance and projects. So I was like, wow, that could be so cool for us. Again, like you had talked about, music classes, recording labs, Smith machines to teach weightlifting techniques to Lander middle schoolers. Like there's just so many different options. So really kind of your imagination and creativity is the ceiling. And so that's really exciting. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
And I am meeting with Mike this week, so. that new
Awesome. I was
lesson-
gonna say,
Yeah.
you guys, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. It's gonna be wonderful.
District already has 3 projects.
Good. Good.
And I will be meeting with Charles, we could say quarterly, to discuss some things too, so we'll continue to see him.
It's such a cool opportunity.
It is, we are very fortunate to have it here. Thank you guys so much.
Running this up, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. I feel very fortunate. I mean, when I saw this job, I was like, this can't be real. I get to meet with community members and give out, money to make the community a better place, so.
Yeah, that's a heck of an opportunity.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'll leave these up here.
All right, gang. Next up, celebrations.
Well, Travis is the chairman of the board. We are at the end of a school year, so with that celebrations and community service, there's just part of the board reports is looking to. So that's kind of where we're at with the next 2 sections, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Same with community service. I'm gonna tack that when we get into some of the reports.
Yep.
Perfect, all right. Okay, gang, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Got a motion and a second, Dave and Katie. Any discussion on the consent agenda?
I make a motion to move into executive session.
Got a motion live on the table, so we gotta,
So can we shut that down?
we can vote that down if everybody wants to.
And I don't think it'll take long, I just have a few questions.
Okay. So, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, signify by saying aye. All opposed, say nay. Nay. All right,
New motion.
new motion.
Okay. Make a motion to move into executive session per Wyoming statute 16-4-405 III, personnel and legal matters.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion on going into executive session. Hearing none, all in favor of going into executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Right there. Shut them down, gang.